There's two holy books to me: the Holy Bible and the Constitution of the United States. That's what I'm loyal to. The second thing I'm loyal to is I am loyal to people. I believe in loyalty. I'm from East Tennessee. Believe in loyalty, believe in vengeance. So both of them. Not always saying that they're the most perfect traits in the world, but I prefer them to the alternative, to disloyalty and cowardice. And so but I'm deeply, deeply loyal to the Constitution. Thus, I was loyal to it when I represented Joe Francis of Girls Gone Wild against all the illegality targeting him. Even though, as is publicly known, I despise the man. I defended Jeffrey Epstein's right to bail, even though it was Jeffrey Epstein. I defended Ghislaine Maxwell's right to bail, even though it was Ghislaine Maxwell. I defended Sam Bankman-Fried's right to bail, even though it was Sam Bankman-Fried. I outed John Pierce and Lynn Wood when it wasn't popular to do so. I explained that Sidney Powell had limitations to what she was saying when it wasn't popular to do so. I questioned the mandates and COVID and lockdowns when nobody wanted to question them for the most part. I defended Alex Jones when I knew I'd be blacklisted in a wide range of places and lost people who worked for me at the time solely for defending him. Don't care. I care about the Constitution of the United States of America. That's it. That's what I took an oath to. That's all I took an oath to. So, but I knew these things would happen when we went this path. And Viva and I have generally avoided all the social media drama as much as we possibly conceivably can. But on Sunday going in, I'd seen that a lot of Lawtube was, to me, virtue signaling how they really weren't grifting off Rekieta and the problems he currently faces. But I was like, looks to me like some folks are planning on grifting off this. And the fact that they're knifing somebody at their weakest moment, the fact they're joining a virtue signaling social media lynch mob, the fact that they're joining a collective shaming effort that by itself was problematic to me. But the fact that they're knifing a person that many of these people, no one would know about, and they wouldn't be making any money but for Rekieta, was like, wow, tells you a little bit something about their character. I just don't respect disloyalty. I just don't. I respect loyalty even when I think it's misplaced to the wrong people or party or cause, because I think there's virtue in loyalty by itself. Not the sole virtue, not the whole virtue, but I believe there's virtue in it. If you study communities and survivability over time, loyalty is actually an essential trait for such survivability and continuity. So I was like, all right, I'm going to challenge Lawtube and say, you're supposed to be about legal education. Your content creation and your excuse for existing is in terms of the social media world, is to use high-profile cases as an opportunity to educate people about their rights, about their remedies, about the legal system, to improve the quality of the legal system, to improve self-education, which can in turn be self-empowerment of ordinary and everyday people, and when they have to deal with and interact with the legal system. And so here it would become apparent that there are going to be considerable constitutional questions about the Rekieta case. So if they weren't just in it for grifting, if they weren't just in it for affirmation and validation, if they weren't just in it to join a social media lynch mob, they weren't just in it to put money in their pockets, then they could actually do what they say they're doing, which is care about the law, care about the Constitution, educate people on it. You can come to different conclusions on that. That's fair game, unless all those conclusions seem to be self-serving ones of a certain kind. But I figured the response would be that the grift would come unmasked, that who these people really are, that, they're there in the 1930s, they're turning you in if you're the Jewish neighbor in Germany. That when the Klan's putting on the hoods and they're saying, let's go lynch so-and-so, they're leaving the door to join them. That I wanted them to show the world who they really are. And people like potentially criminal, people like legal mindset, people like Nate the lawyer, happily and eagerly did precisely that. So, and I'm not surprised, people like sort of Nate the lawyer has constantly tried to almost quasi-troll me for years into trying to grift off of my attention, hoping I would get into some debate with him to boost his channel. Mostly I thought he's a nice guy who's not very smart. And so I just wasn't going to pay much attention. But it was clear he was getting more into grifter territory of late. The legal mindset I had long suspected was of a grifter mindset. And and that potentially criminal guy always struck me as, he's the Jabba the Hutt looking dude. He struck me as not trustworthy at all. Better call Saul without the IQ. And they were all eager to attack me. But the escalation, and it's because, why? Because in the Rekieta world, the Rekieta haters is where you're going to get all the live chats, is where you're going to get all the comments, is where you're going to get all the likes, shares, subscribes, is where you're going to get the monetization, is where you're going to get the views, is where you're going to get the super chats. So the validation and the money comes with being on that side. If they were sincere about their constitutional analysis, you would see a constitutional analysis. It might come in different directions, but you would say, okay, that sounds pretty impartial to me. That sounds like good, sound legal reasoning. Instead, you didn't. And the reason why that's the case is because of that trolling and social media sickness that I was describing. Rekieta has a bunch of trolls. Some hate him because of Rittenhouse. Some hate him going back to that Vic guy that he defended in anime. Some hate him because of Johnny Depp. Some hate him because of his own choices and decisions over the last 6 months. People who feel betrayed or whatnot. Some hate him because of social media drama he himself got himself embroiled in. But either way, it was clear the intensity was on the hate side. That usually is, right? When they're lighting the torches and they got the rope, there isn't like a bunch of public intensity on the, hey, let's not lynch somebody today side. Study lynch mobs, which I have, and you'll understand that. Kind of like the French Revolution. And when they eat their own, it's a dangerous social phenomenon and a true sickness, in my opinion. But that's how you got people saying, oh, Viva and Barnes have a contract with Rumble, and they're conflicted from saying anything bad concerning Nick Rekieta. And that must be why they have the constitutional analysis that they have of the search warrant and of the criminal complaint. There's several problems with that. One, I don't have a contract with Rumble. The only contract I did with Rumble was way back when I gave them a ridiculous, Viva and I both, a ridiculously discounted fee to help draft their terms because I wanted them to be as pro-free speech as possible and to use it as a template for other social media people to use. To a large degree, X kind of has, by the way. But that was it. That was years ago. The Viva has a contract with Rumble, but I do not. Never have for content creation. The second thing is, I've seen Viva's contract. Viva's been public about it. There's absolutely nothing in there about other content creators. You would know this if you simply followed content creators on Rumble that have contracts with Rumbles who often attack one another. Right. The Quartering has a Rumble contract. He's okay with being very critical of other people that also have Rumble contracts. So it's an utterly absurd claim. And yet their legal mindset is entertaining it, encouraging it, and sharing it with people. It's like amazing. So but it's par for the course. What it mostly tells you is anybody who's giving you that bad faith analysis that just happens to align with really lining their pockets, confession through projection, they're the ones grifting. They're the ones doing things for money. They're the ones doing things for fame. They're the ones doing things to boost their validation. They're people not to trust in the future. A lot of people are going to out themselves over the next week or two. And you're going to get to see who's legit, who's for real, and who's fake. Who's someone whose opinion you can't trust or rely upon. The side benefit, putting all this in motion. So I appreciate their efforts.